Last week, I talked about Vox from Hazbin Hotel Season 2, the smart and sadistic TV headman that seemingly only wanted to wipe that smile off Alastor's face. Speaking of Alastor and my previous video, I said this, but I can't deny that there is practically no substance with any of the main characters in the hotel that truly inspired any video to be made with them. Well, let's just say there's an exception. Alastor is definitely the second best written character in the season, and one of the main reasons why is because he's barely in it, acting more of the devil on Vox's shoulder than anything like he was planning to become at the end of Season 1. I'm making this video because of the insane support last week's video got, and because my judgment towards the last two episodes wasn't the best, and I want to redo, and in case you're curious why that is, it's because I had to wake up in the middle of the night to watch the final two episodes and finish my video. Don't worry about having to do homework, because today I'm going to be talking about how Hazbin Hotel teaches us how to write an anti-hero. Make sure to like, comment, hype, and subscribe because we're so close to 40k subscribers and I need your help to get there by the end of the year. Now, the funny thing about Alastor that I mentioned before is that he's really absent this season because of what happened last time. For a lot of Season 1, Alastor was on a complete win streak, only for him to be humiliated when he really needed to show his dominance the most. This sets up a lot of things in Season 2. Now, just to be clear, Season 1 is good, but let's be honest, Season 1 is mainly just set up for everything that happens in Season 2. I don't know if this was always the plan when they were making Season 1, but it really feels like Infinity War to Endgame in that type of situation. So let's revisit Season 1 really quickly. Alastor has never been a good person. He's been really mysterious to the point people in the hotel that are friends with him, and yes, I use that term really lightly, are pretty scared of him. We know that back in his heyday in Hell, he was a murderer, but that's all we knew. We knew that he was close to Rosie, but we don't really know why. We knew that he disappeared for a long time before coming to the hotel, but we didn't have all the pieces just yet. From the start, Alastor was a villain, but quickly turned into an anti-hero as soon as he seemed to enjoy staying at the hotel, even though he thought it would never work. Really quickly, to anyone who doesn't know, an anti-hero is a main character in a story that doesn't act like a hero that you would usually see in some superhero movies, for example. Alastor portrays this by not only being in Hell, but also because of how wicked his powers seem to be as seen from his monster design in Season 1, Episode 2. I think that's enough with Season 1, so let's move on to the talk of all of Hell, Season 2. I'm going to rip off the band-aid right here, right now. Alastor does not become an important character until halfway through the season. He's there in the background, but he has no plot significance in episodes 1, 2, or 3. Episode 4 is easily the Alastor episode of the bunch because we get dropped with a lot of information that stays very vital towards the rest of the plot. And although his actions may seem villainous or heroic at times, trust me when I say there is an easy way to debunk all of it when in Hell. In episode 4, we learn that Rosie was keeping him off the air, for reasons we still don't really know. But also, we find out that he's close to Rosie because he's her pet, to put it in her words. Not only this, but we learn about his backstory before he even came to Hell. Sure, we knew he was a psycho while in Hell, but we learned his backstory is strictly one of a villain. I know I just said that there is an explanation to why he's always an anti-hero, but I specifically said when in Hell, because what he did when he was a human certified his place being cast down, but that's easily his darkest trait yet. I will be honest that this video is made because of a specific scene that came up later on with easily one of the most impressive plot twists I've seen this year, but it ties into how it comes off on Alastor, so let's get into it. Alastor gave himself up because he perfectly planned that Vox would never dream to turn him down. I mean, think about it. Vox is getting a deal where he gets to win against his biggest rival. Alastor knows too well how easy he is to manipulate when it fills his ego. Now, although Vox starts by just humiliating him, he doesn't know the bigger picture of allowing Alastor to accompany him anywhere, including in his bedroom. Alastor is purposely aggravating Vox in order to keep him on his quest to becoming the most powerful sinner, something that we now know is his plan to break his deal with Rosie and set himself free. Now that we're back at Don't You Forget Reprise, I put out a poll a couple days ago about what song I should cover next, and this person said I should cover all of them. So I did that. Go into the description or go to the playlist to find covers of Don't You Forget Reprise. Once we get up there, Vox Populi, Vox Day, and Brighter. I'm no professional singer by any means, but they were so fun to make and I'm sure they'll be fun to listen to as well. A main trait that you need to know when it comes to anti-heroes is that they may be doing something that is good, as seen how Alastor will fight Vox later, but his plan was never to get back at Vox, it was to break his deal. He would have never given himself up if he didn't have to get out of his deal with Rosie, because I'm pretty confident in saying that he could have easily taken down Vox during their first fight. He just needed to act weak and allow himself to be laughed at in order for his title as strongest sinner to begin dwindling. Anti-heroes could have good motives in the end, but still be doing this for selfish reasons that put others in danger, like how Alastor is allowing Vox to attack Heaven and even pushing him to do so. Moving on to episodes 5 and 6, I could have called this video How to Write a Manipulative Character, but because I wanted to finally discuss an anti-hero on this channel, I think it's fine to tell you that an anti-hero doesn't have to be as manipulative as Alastor is. But the Hazbin Hotel writers understand that in order for Alastor to be an anti-hero, he needs to have traits about him like manipulation that really sound bad on paper with no context, but when you see him use it to strengthen Vox, only to have it be revealed later that this was supposed to help him defeat Vox, shows that Alastor the anti-hero can be slimy, but he can use those tactics for good when he wants. Alastor this whole time throughout episodes 5, 6, and a bit of 7 honestly, shows us that he knows he's playing with Vox. But the only person who can't see that is Vox himself. It's genuinely really well crafted in that sense, because as I've said numerous times and something I feel I need to reiterate once more, is that anti-heroes are not necessarily evil, but they're not necessarily good, but somewhere on the verge of both that still is the hero at the end of the day. Personally, I think that the finale of season 2 is the best episode of the show for a lot of reasons, but specifically because how it wraps up the dynamic between Alastor and Vox. So I'm gonna sprinkle in a little bit of Vox character development in here because it bounces directly off of Alastor's. So here's where we start. Alastor's wordplay back in episode 4 comes back to bite Vox, which once again reveals more places Alastor uses manipulation to his advantage. Trust me, I know I'm a broken record, but it seriously is slapping you in the face when you watch the show yourself. Anyways, I'm moving on from talking about the M word because I'm sure it's repetitive. But may I just add that this is a fantastic plot twist? I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks that this is really good, right? Like, this is some great callback that has purpose towards the overarching plot, and it just works on all fronts. Right after we get this, we have the big climactic battle of the season, and let me say, wow, does this prove this video right. I haven't gone full in depth with Alastor's powers just yet, but I think it's time because just by the look of this, it looks evil, especially with the black and green along with Alastor's red complexion and his creepy minions and his tentacles paint the picture he is pure evil, but with the context we know that, well, he's using these powers to take down the real bad guy. But he's taking him down no matter how many lives he and Vox take while the fight goes on, not making him a total good guy, but nowhere close to the villain in the scenario because Vox is inherently built up more as the bad guy in this moment. To end things off, Alastor succeeded because he made Vox snap, leading to the death of thousands, which is a lot of Alastor's fault for pushing him so far that he just full-on compares himself to God later. But my point with all of this is that Alastor is not good whatsoever, and what adds on to this is that he doesn't feel remorse for any of the people he indirectly killed. But when you're actually watching this scene, you can forgive Alastor because he is the only match for Vox, and just because he's selfish for doing all this to break his deal with Rosie, we're happy to see Vox have actual competition after he somehow kept winning and winning throughout the entire season. Vox was the Alastor of season 2 with his winning streak, only losing when he really needed to win the most. At the end of the day, both of them are more similar than they think. Quick last thing, even though Alastor could have been helping them stabilize the weapon, he forces Rosie to fix his staff, but it's still a little up in the air if he would have been able to make as big of a difference or not. So maybe he was being selfish, but he was doing it so he could help everyone else out too. Overall, Alastor is a great example of an anti-hero because of how he contrasts Vox's plan, giving the audience someone to understand is more evil than the other and allowing Alastor to do what he wants because he will eventually lead Vox into losing in the end. I believe this will be my last Hazbin Hotel video for a while, but don't expect it to disappear because I will definitely use some of season 2 in my next opinions episode. With that said, thank you everybody for watching. I'm Enchanted. Bye.